Welcome back, my fellow Ragers. Today we'll be talking about functions. Now, if you are a programmer, then you have to know how to use functions because, first of all, functions helps us to reduce code repetition. For the thing that you need to know is that you have to avoid repetition of code no matter what. I won't go into the details of why, you can Google it out. But anyways, let's talk about functions. Over here in the previous video, we talked about how to format our messages with colors. So I added a couple of more colors. First, it was only white and cyan. Now we have a lot more like black, grade 1, OOC, purple, whatever. We're going to use purple for our RP command over here, which is me. Now, first let me just create another class, add, and the name of the class, I'll just keep it as utils. Again, so we have a folder named utils, and we also have a class named as utils. For this, we are going to need the namespace GTA Network API. So using GTA Network API, and what I'm going to do over here is we are going to make a function which takes in the parameter of a player's name, and it returns the player's RP name, as in it removes any underscore present in the name. So let's make one. So public static void return RP name. Now, you need to know what this modifier static means. What static means is that if it is a non-static function, then you need to create an object in order to access the function. If it is static, then you do not need to create an object. You can simply access the function via the class. So I'm going to make this static because I don't want to create an object. Now the parameter for this function, what I'm going to keep it is the player parameter. I mean the player data type. So player. And over here I'm gonna make a data type variable of string, and I'm gonna call it as rp name. Now what I'm going to do with rp name is player, the parameter player, the object which is in the function parameter player, the object player dot name. So now RP name contains player.name, which means that it also includes the underscore present in the name. Now what we want to do is we want to remove the underscore. So we're going to replace it with a function which is present in the string data type. So name dot replace. We can hover our mouse over the replace to see what parameters it needs. What it needs is the old character, as in which character should the function try to find, and the new character, as in from the old character is going to replace with the new character. So the old character is going to be an underscore. We do not want any underscore present in the player's name, and we're going to replace it with a space. See over here, there's nothing. That means a space. And over here is a underscore. So basically, if a name contains an underscore, it's going to find that underscore and then it is going to replace with a space. So let's say there is Skylar underscore Parker underscore Parker. It's going to replace all of the underscore and it's going to be Skylar space Parker space Parker. And now we need to return this. The function needs to be able to return. You can see over here that the return type that I've presented it with is void, but I want this variable rp named to be returned. So instead of void, I'm going to change the return data type to string, and then I'm going to return rp name. Our function is done. This basically returns the name without any underscore. So now we are going to use this in our command, our me command. So over here instead you can see I have used in the format, for the string format, over here I have done player name, but this name contains an underscore. We want to remove it. So we're gonna call the function. So in the previous video we learned how to access any functional variable from another folder, another class. We're going to do the same thing again. So the folder is within utils, the class is within the folder utils. So first we will write the name of the folder. utils. Then we will write the name of the class. The function resides in the class utils. So folder name dot class name dot, over here you can see it's prompted the function name, which is return rp name. Now return rp name is a function and it requires a parameter. The parameter that it needs is of a data type player. So we will simply pass this variable, the variable which contains the object for the player who is using the command. I'll simply pass it over here, and voila. Now we have accessed the function which passes the player name and then returns the player name without the underscore. Let me test this out. Give me a moment. I'm gonna pause, run the game, and then I'll unpause. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And here we have it. We are now in game, and let me just test the command. We use the function. Basically, I'll give a small recap. We use the function which takes in the player data type, and then it replaces all of the underscores with a space. So let me test it. Me runs around, and as you can see now, there is no more underscore. Over here in the previous one, you can see we used the normal variable which was player.name, and player.name contains that underscore, but because of the function that we use, that underscore is no longer present. And this is how you use a function and how you utilize it from another module. If you understood anything, if you learned anything, that hit that like button. If you want more tutorials, want to learn more about it, then subscribe. If you have any questions, then obviously comment it down below, and I will return back to you very soon. Until the next video, peace out.